three key levers that we all need to be pulling over these next few years and pulling hard against. And so I think the first lever is this concept that one needs to integrate sustainability into the very fabric of a company's business model, its governance, the accountability of executives, etc. And I think that's really critical work in how you institutionalize sustainability into that fabric of the business model. I think there are two other levers, though, that we need to be pulling. One is around advocacy. I think that the voice of business needs to be heard more clearly in the debate on policy, in the debate on the need to transition to a green and more sustainable economy, and the need for the right incentives and the right standards to be in play. And then the third, the one that I'm really passionate about because I believe it is something that really can help us accelerate, is an absolute ruthless focus on innovation. And I think what we collectively need to do is understand that sustainability it's just innovation spelled differently. And that innovation is going to help us put new solutions on the table that delight the consumer, that delight the investor, that delight management, and help us actually leapfrog into the new future rather than incrementally stepping into it. It starts at the top. It starts with signals from leadership, from the chief executive. For us, it also includes having a robust corporate responsibility and sustainability committee of the board, which I, along with the COO, are the two executives accountable for working to that committee of the board. It cascades down into how is sustainability a part of the growth strategy, which for us is our growth strategy is really predicated around decoupling from constrained resources. And then it cascades down into targets, which sit as the ownership and accountability of different business functions, performance measurement, how people then are measured against that, having the right incentives in place. So thinking about how is this in people's job profile? How are people being talked about? How is this discussed when we talk about their progress? How is it linked ultimately down the road to things like bonus and incentives programs? Sustainability really is just a canary in the mine for innovation. So all the problems that sustainability practitioners bemoan, nobody knows quite what my future value is the same for most innovations. And so part of this is about leaps of faith and about whether it's lined up to the strategy and whether we think that we have an ability to take a nascent technology from prototype all the way through to scale. So we run our sustainability function as we run an innovation function. Everything goes through stage gating. We actually try to find a balanced portfolio of investments that will bring returns on a short, mid, and long term. And then I think the bigger thing around that is that Nike naturally has a culture of risk-taking, and innovation is in our lifeblood. And remember, we know as well what it feels like to be on the wrong side of risk. We lived that in the early 90s, and we understand very clearly what the downsides of living through risk can bring, both for your employee base and for your brand and perception. We've been steadily, as a very clear sourcing strategy, reducing our supply chain to fewer suppliers and often to fewer factory groups with whom we're having a more centralized relationship with the actual group heads around a longer term relationship that involves a commitment to sustainability. So on the one hand, we're having a leadership to leadership conversation about the central nature of sustainability in their strategy for them to be our long-term partner. That's important, sends a signal. Then we back that up with what we call the balanced scorecard. So contrary to almost everybody else, as far as I don't know anyone else doing this, mostly in our industry, the relationship will be measured on typical, cost, quality, on-time delivery. We measure it on those three things, plus a sustainability quadrant, which includes labor rights and environmental impacts. And the suppliers basically are rated by independent monitors or by our own auditors. And based on their score on that, will either see themselves penalized or incented, which is linked to the company's relationship with that supplier. we're huge fans of Ceres, and it's been an amazing and fruitful relationship and continues to be one. We think of the organization as really a thought leader, but also an organization that really understands the complexity of what it is to run a business on a day-to-day basis. And so the solution sets and the frameworks that Ceres puts on the table are pragmatic and business savvy.